If you're ever in doubt, baby, just do what Johnny Wick could do. Get out that window, you big grub. Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka. Thanks so much for joining me today on channel as we try something a little bit different. This is my good mate Deadboot, voted India's sexiest man for August of 2016. Wasn't really even for the whole of August, it was just for 1 week, and even then it was just the Tuesday. But he's still a great bloke, and they call him the Allure of Jaipur, Rajasthan. Deadboot. We dropped boot camp, which is very, very apt. And it was good of him to record the game because I think this is a really interesting look at how duos play in PUBG Mobile. Onwards. And it was an interesting thing for me to see it from this perspective as well, because Deadboot, I'm definitely, when we play, myself, my mates, like the patrons and everyone else, I certainly call the shots. And you can see it's a really nice push here. Boot goes in one end, I go in the other. I'm pretty slow. I actually, it's not just thirsting that human there. I wanted to get rid of that person there so that when I went to revive Deadboot, if they had a squad member just outside, that person reviving them wouldn't be able to say, he's reviving, so they could rush in at just that point in time and waste us. But I did notice something in this game. One of the things that happens a lot for me when I'm playing is I actually end up having quite high damage games compared to a lot of the guys in the squad. And I find that interesting because it's not always meritorious. I don't always think that I'm playing better than the guys that are in the squad with me. But one of the big things that happens when I'm playing is I lead, and I'm quite aggressive. And that means guys like Boot, Ouija, Chapos, all the boys, Leezy, everyone else, they tend to have to follow. And that means that I get first crack at the cherry. I get first bite of the cherry. I get the first opportunity to actually put damage in. And it's something that I think also leads to me having some games where it looks like I'm doing a whole lot of work, but I'm not really. I'm just the first bloke to get in the ring, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that's beside the point. But it was something that I found interesting after watching so many videos to see it from someone else's perspective. Now, where the hell was I? I don't have Boot's sound turned on because it'd just be confusing, and there's a slight drop. There's a slight difference. Now, we've just looted up over here, and we're working around the edges of Boot Camp. Boot's running the UMP, and he's got an eyeball on someone down there in the warehouse area. He's going to mark him up for me. Now, the Deadboot wasn't actually on voice chat during this. He rarely is on voice chat. The Indian Don Juan, Whoa! Hello, Dorothy. We thirst that big boy up, BGL Gems 001. You can see Deadboot doing great things down there. I want you to pay attention in this next segment. We're going to call for a push. I'm like, we've knocked these guys and put fire into them. What about we push? Now, Boot is going to go around to the northern side, and I'm going to go around to the southern side. Now, watch Boot knock someone with the AK. I come in, they start shooting me from behind. As I come around here, they follow me around, then Deadboot moves in and comes back from the other door. It was a lovely two-man push, wasn't it? Like the way we pinced it around there, and we both went very, very aggressively and almost synchronized. And it was nice to see that from the perspective of Deadboot, because it felt good to me at the time when we called it. It's like we both went through, and I was mentioning at the time how it was like we went 1-2 punch, and they had to basically swivel and cover two different directions at once, and they didn't do it well, and it felt really good. And I like that about seeing this specific style of gameplay. And we are now looting up. We're looking pretty good. We've got the M24. We've got a little bit of M416. I got 4 kills. The Boot kicking along with 3, and then I first up a couple of bots or something. But then we run into the middle of a squad fight. Now they're fighting someone up there on the wall, but they're in a really bad position now. They've got basically Boot spotted the squad that's on the outer perimeter, the buildings that we actually landed around and pushed through. So we're going to make a move around towards the middle here, and you can see they're still engaged. And Boot and I just smacked that bloke. He took a lot of double trouble. And Double Trouble, that's a great name for me and Boot. Stevie Ray Vaughan's band either was Double Trouble. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. Me and Deadboot. I honest to God don't know if anyone's going to watch this video. I don't know if it's a video people are going to like, but I really enjoyed watching it. It was different for me. I did like that you could see we're both peeking different sides of the door, and you don't even realize you're doing this stuff when you're doing it, but it's actually very, very cool. Deadboot and I both hitting that dude at exactly the same time. Like, that's 2 gunfights in a row where we've double teamed and focus fired just beautifully. And I've played a lot of games with Deadboot, and there's a lot of guys that I've played games with, and you can tell when you played with someone a lot, you just have a really good chemistry and you do things together at very much the same time. Now, Deadboot's just working some magic over here on these guys in the buildings, and we decide to motor on around to cover up. And that's when someone tries to thirst up the boot there. He gets a big touch up, and immediately I go into overlook. So I'm just waiting to boot to see how he fares there, listening, seeing if anyone's going to push in. I'm not in a horrible position, but it's obviously not a brilliant position. And there they go. They're going to push on boot now. And he does good work, but that guy gets away. So they're very, very focused on boot. That's cool. So we get 1. Here comes his mate. I'm just going to clear him before I can go and shift into boot. Now that's 2. I don't want to muck around too much thirsting that guy up. I've got to get over here and get boot up. I'm not really worried. And to be honest, I'd rather leave that guy where he is so that the actual other squad have to worry about the guy that's knocked, and they're going to go and get him, which gives me a nice bunch of time to get boot up. Boot did really, really well there. He not only marked up the target just because he wasn't on voice comms, but he also put a lot of angry fire in there. And this is where we come out here. We're looking to see if that knock's still available. And we decide this, and I remember this clearly. I'm like, okay, so let's just get out of here while these guys are fighting. Then I get to the fence line and I'm like, you know what, Boot? We're better than that. we're better than that. We can do this, man. I believe in us. I'm a believer in Double Trouble, in Deadboot and Bushka. So, me and the monster that is the Boot, we go straight back in. And well, we do. That's how good's that karma? Because as we're running back in, I start getting thumped from the village over there. If I hadn't kept running blindly towards that area and disengaged, I would have got absolutely flogged. Deadboot makes a very, very good call here. He just starts fanging straight down the middle of this trench, up the other side. And what we're doing is, if you look at the mini-map that you can see in the top right corner of my screen, we're actually going to motor across that river there. Now, the river is a brilliant, brilliant natural obstacle. If you watched my 30 tips video that I did for the 50k subscriber thing, you would know that it flushes harder. This actual area here is the hardest flushing zone in Blitz. Basically what happens is the river is torture. You've got to swim across the river, and while you're swimming, you're completely unprotected. And the zone so often just outside of boot camp forces people to make horrible decisions crossing this river. So what we're looking to do, and I get up here and now I'm overlooking back just in case Boot gets in any trouble. What I'm looking to do now is get ahead of the zone, do some good work, think it through, and actually farm up some damage on the other side. So I'm going to cut to us actually swimming across the river, because you don't need to see that. And you can see we do this with varying degrees of success. I'm not really on song with the M24 in this, but for all that, you can see exactly what I mean. I mean, I knocked that bloke out. Boot's just spotting targets up. That bloke just nips behind. He's marking that guy up again. He's very fast with the fingers. He's a nimble man, the Boot. We're just trying to edge into that actual... There he is. Can we get a shot on him? No, he's ducked down behind. So now we're just going to an overlook, a general overlook, and having a look around. And there he is again. Just give him a nice solid hit, because at the end of the day, he's going to jump off the water. Jump into the water. And this is why, I mean, you love boot camp. It's brilliant. If you get across this circle well before the others, and trust me, I've been trapped in it often enough that I really do pay attention to this. You can farm. You can just have an absolute feast with these guys that run late into the water. The big problem you have with this section here is if the zone is retreating directly to your west, it goes up into the mountains. And if you screw around here for too long, like I am, waiting for that poor bloke. I mean, that's why I wasn't that worried about him jumping in the water, because I knew I'd get a chance to knock him out again as he came up the beach. And then before I go and finish him up, before I get thirsty and finish that knock, I just decide to have another look around because Boot's seen more humans. And you can see how important voice comms is, because Boot is being really, really good here with his spots and his targets. But it's still a lot easier just to say, hey, there's a guy on the beach over there. Anyway, I digress. Deadboot's seen someone rolling down towards the water, but I'm still having a crack at this bloke and putting good fire in over there. I mean, yeah, big hat tip. If you are running into boot camp, this is not the way you... running out of boot camp, this is not the place you want to get screwed on. I found this fascinating, this video. Like, seeing the different points of view, and Boot's doing a really good job here. And this is one of the reasons I was saying, like, I get these big damage games with guys like Deadboot. I don't know how good a player Deadboot is. He's a really good player. And look at all the hard yards. He's just basically overlooking everything left and right of me with a UMP and a 3x. And I'm getting to just sit here and whore damage out of these people who are running around trying to get across this zone line. And that is, I
got supplies.
I mean, he's even giving me 7.62. What a great bloke. I mean, there's no better bloke in this world, really, than a good squad mate like this. And I think it's a big part of some of the games that I have that are just monumental. That and playing with Snake, like Maxi can't play, so... just sorry. Last night I kept dying. I kept blaming him. By the end of it, he's like, Bushka, I'm just going to land. I'm going to lie down. And when you get a gun and you kill everyone, you tell me it's okay for me to come out. He ended in one. I was being such a prima donna. Good on him. Good on you, Maxi. You need someone to keep you on an even keel. But yeah, so I thought that was an interesting insight for me as a player. Now, as I was mentioning before, this is the big trap. The water is so good, the fishing is so good here that you're catching everything and you're getting all this damage, and then, wow, like the zone moved and you've got to run up a big mountain behind you. The zone isn't so bad for us here, and you're going to see I mark up a section of the mountain that I want to run through. That's an area that I really think is a good place to head for. There's cover on both sides, so what do I mean by that? Well, you have to go up through these choke points to the top of this mountain when the zone moves there. And if you run up underneath the cliff on the underside of either side of this choke point that I'm going to mark on the map here, you can see just at the southern end there, you can get really good cover underneath. Plus, there's a little hill, a little false front that drops off towards a small group of huts there that offers really good cover from people who are above you. Now you can see there is a UAZ going straight up above us. Boot and I are not firing in that because we're not pretending to be idiots, and that would certainly be pretty stupid to fire at the UAZ and say, hey guys, we're running up directly behind you. So this gets pretty hectic here, and I've just got the new iPad 12.9-inch Pro, and I took my hands off the iPad and it's getting kind of sweaty, and when I put them back on, I didn't put them on in quite the right spot. See, I'm not shooting, and I'm not zooming now, and I'm not actually moving. I try to zoom in. I'm like, there he is. Just zoom in. There it is. I got the zoom working. And oh no. I've noobed out. I've potatoed out, but it's all right. Deadboot has it under control, baby. And this is a great example for me of how Deadboot came in a different angle to me. He was right across the mountain. I was kind of like the blunt force instrument. And even though I couldn't get a hold of my controls correctly and I lost my fingering, I was a point of contact for that squad. And Boot just absolutely sideswiped him. They did not have a clue what was going on. I was running around like an absolute lunatic. And I think this is another one of the reasons why I get these big damage games while I'm playing with very good players, is that I'm an idiot who is slightly aggressive when he plays. I mean, even though I couldn't figure out my controls, I didn't press lie down or something and try and hide. It just kept going, just charging, just moving forward. Now, this is a great example here where Boot absolutely covers me and I absolutely cover Boot. Now, we're 2 versus 4 for the most part during this game. You're going to see Boot, again, is going to take one side of the map. I'm going to take the other. I'm going to move hard up into this mountain, kind of like the point of the spear again, the tip of the spear. Boot is going to overlook me, and there's going to be 2 guys above me on the top of the cliff face. And Deadboot just rinses them. And then I'm going to look across to the left, and there's guys on Boot's flank, to the western flank, and I just absolutely nut them. And I'm pretty certain that they're just looking at Deadboot. And it's this width that we're bringing to the gameplay, the space we're working in. We're not confined. We're constantly connected, but not so far apart. And there's Boot. He's seen those guys on the other side of the map, and he's engaged them, right? And I've found that I can hear people above me. There's people all above me, and I've called this to Boot in Discord. I can't hear him, but he can hear me. And you're gonna see, I can't see any of this that's going on. I'm just chucking mad grens up there. I'm like, yeah, let's get involved. And these guys up there are now fighting the guys that Boot marked on the map earlier. And you can hear that they're above me still. And here he comes jumping down behind me, and Boot nails him. Just absolutely freaking smacks him. He goes for the John Wick off the top of the cliff, and by the time he's landed, Boot's like, no, buddy. No. You'll be sitting down now. Welcome to the lobby. And here we go. I start clearing the other side of the map. I thought they were engaging Boot. I forgot about this. No, he'd actually moved up behind me. So we're now just sorting out that flank, and it's a beautiful thing. And there's only 3 people left in the entire game now. Me and Boot, we're feeling good. We're feeling like we got this one. And it was a really enjoyable match. It was a great chance to play with the Boot again. And it was, we call him Christmas, because when we first started playing, he doesn't use the voice comms much, but he'd just roll up and drop like a car 98 at my feet. And I thought, that's a lot like Christmas. Just comes in with a present. So here we go. We're pretty certain we can hear them moving about. There's footsteps. I'm like, Boot, they're in there. And he's like, yeah, they're in there. They're definitely in there. So we send them a couple of care packages. There's a pineapple. Boot gives a lovely molly. All in all, it ain't good times in that house right now. There's one's gone down to a gren. I reckon the other bloke's on fire. I come in and clear those 2. Deadboot, again, pincers. Other side of the map. There's the Boot. And he clears the guy in the other corner. We don't win a chicken dinner. What a wonderful time to be alive. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Deadboot, for recording that footage and sending it to me. If you guys would like to see more videos like this, let me know. Really, really good squad play. 13 and 8. 2700 and 1000 damage. Yeah, just something a little bit different. Something a little bit different to bring to the table. Anyway, I'm Bushka. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for being part of what has been an incredibly exciting time of my life as I build a new YouTube channel. And thank you so much for just being supportive and watching the videos. If you could share them with more people, hey, I wouldn't be upset. Until next time, look after yourselves. Oh yeah, there's a new black t-shirt in the t-shirt shop. Everyone wanted a t-shirt in black, so I made one. Yeah, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.